Hey, it's the happy hour. That's what we're doing. It's the happy hour. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the
GEEK
Buddies.
Hey! Yep, there's no Shannon. That's why he's not in the thumbnail, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
He's not in the thumbnail because there's no Shannon today.
There's no Shannon today. We are doing our happy hour, which we do here every once in a while live on the Cinephiles. Shannon is working today at Universal. So if you're at Universal, tell him hi. Maybe
Did you just say Cinephiles?
Oh, sorry. The Geek Buddies. Sorry. I have so many. I apologize profusely. It happens every once in a while. Wow. You've been a guest on the Cinephiles, but we are here with a happy hour. Michael, what are you drinking?
I'm having a little whiskey because it's Friday afternoon. I had a couple good meetings today. It's been an interesting week. Had some cool potential things come up. So I'm having a little whiskey before I go out to a birthday dinner with the boys a little later this evening.
Nice. Yes, that's good stuff. I am drinking Harvey and Harriet, a red wine blend, 2021 from San Luis Obispo County.
Oh, you can take the boy out of San Diego, but you can't take the San Diego out of the boy. A little red wine on a Friday afternoon.
This is how we
look at this suburban lady.
This is my life now. I can't go the hard stuff anymore, but a little wine at the end of the day is not a bad idea.
The hard stuff, like the screwdrivers I used to make you in college.
We're not talking. Are we revealing stuff? I mean, I don't think we should, say anything about that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna tell you here. No, I'm gonna tell this is just because it's a happy hour.
We're chilling.
I'm gonna tell you guys a very funny story about how I got drunk a lot in college. But here's why: because I would go to make a drink and John would say, "Go make me a screwdriver, Mikey. You know how I like them." Please. Like I was his lady. And so then I would go into the kitchen and I would make him a screwdriver. But the problem is I knew that John Rocha liked a screwdriver that was a little light on the vodka. But as a college guy, I had a heavy pour. So what I would do is I would pour the vodka in, and then I would pour the orange juice in, and then I would take a sip and go, oh, that's too strong for John. And then I would gulp a bunch of it down so that it would be weaker and then fill it with orange juice. And I'd be like, that's right. And then I would proceed to make myself a screwdriver or whatever I was drinking. But basically, for every drink that I made, and John made me get him a drink, I was actually drinking a drink and a half for his half a drink. So my tolerance for alcohol went way up in college. Oh, yeah. And John's has never really been that high.
No, it's true. I did like to drink when I was younger. And certainly Michael caught me after the military because in my 20s, man, I used to put away gallons of liquor. Like we used to drink in the military all the time, like a lot, and so those were the days, but by the time we got to know each other, it was more of a. But then again, I would have my wild nights. I would have occasionally.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a few wild nights.
Yeah, certainly at dude nights we would have a little fun having some drinks for sure. But yeah, that makes sense. But you've always enjoyed the liquor in moderation and in respectful moderation,
or not so moderate. We'll see. It just depends.
There are a few slap faces that could attest to your drinking.
Listen,
yes,
a gay man's moderation is a straight man's problem. That's how how it works.
I love that. That's a great way to put that out. But we are doing a happy hour, which means it's very chill today. We're live. The Streamlabs and Superchats are open. It's a very chill show. We've got some things we want to talk about for sure, but we also want to hear from you guys. What do you want us to opine on? What are you thinking about right now over the week of the entertainment news or in your life? If you're watching something that you want to talk about, we're open to a lot of things here, but we do have some subjects we want to get through, but we certainly want to hear from you all.
Yeah.
You could do that through Streamlabs and Superchat. Send in your support. We'll read your questions on the air as we go along and have a fun conversation about all of that stuff here on the Geek Buddies, not the Cinephiles, the Geek Buddies. So just to remind you all where you're at. So, but we should start with this, Michael. Since this is in the headline of the show, Jonathan Majors, he delivered a pretty extensive interview on Hollywood Report at the Hollywood Reporter today, going into what was going on for him. The Hollywood Reporter interviewed 19 people that included 2 of his ex-girlfriends, multiple producers and actors and directors who've worked with Jonathan Majors over the years. And I got to tell you, with Magazine Dreams coming out here on the 21st of March, so like 7 days away from now, I'm starting to have this weird feeling that this is now coming the slow comeback of Jonathan Majors. And look, we have these Doomsday Secret Wars films still a year or 2 out. Is this the turning of the corner? Are people now maybe a little more open to Jonathan Majors coming back? In essence, is this working, this approach to his PR now? He's got a fiance. He did his time. People seem to be very positive about him. What are your thoughts about this interview? What are your thoughts on him possibly coming back?
It's definitely the Jonathan Majors comeback tour. I mean, I think Michael B. Jordan came out and said he would love to do Creed 4.
Yes.
With Jonathan Majors. You know, this is how it works. I mean, what Jonathan Majors is doing right now is also what Kevin Spacey was attempting to do with maybe not as great success. And we've talked about this before when it gets into any of these people who deal with accusations, court cases, any of this stuff. There are certain people that, and I don't know the equation, I don't know the math of it, but there are certain people that it's like, well, given what you did versus your personality divided by your talent, multiplied by the number of people in the industry that have your back, like there's a calculation that goes, you can crawl back. You can come back from this and say, all right, you went through some bad times. You did some things that you're not proud of, but what you did not rise to the, we're shutting the book on you forever. And then there's other people where you're like, I don't care who says you're a great person. You're not coming, like you're just not. And this isn't a matter of like some board, so it's the Hollywood version of the Illuminati sitting somewhere and deciding. It's just the court of public opinion. Like that's why it's impossible to tell. It's not that Hollywood decides someone gets to have a comeback. It's not that the media decides someone gets to, like, the public will let you know who can come back and who cannot. And in the case of Jonathan Majors, I think maybe he will. I think maybe he will come back from this. I do not think Kang is going to show up in Doomsday or Secret Wars.
Okay.
No.
Right.
But because I think like at this point, they have chosen a lane and Marvel just needs to stick to their lane. And now that you've chosen the Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom lane, but also Kang's going to come in and say, hey guys, I got you. Like, it's like, let's just let them make whatever movie they're trying to make right now. But I do think, assuming that Marvel keeps on marveling for the next decade or so, assuming that they land the X-Men and we all get excited and things happen, there's absolutely a possibility that somewhere in the mutant saga or beyond, we get to the end of a movie and all of a sudden something happens and Kang walks out. Like, Kang is a time-traveling villain. He can show up whenever. So I do not think that Marvel read the Hollywood Reporter article and said, I think Jonathan Majors is in the clear. He's safe. Let's get him in here. Let's get him on set. No, I think everyone is in a wait and see mode with Jonathan Majors, including Marvel. And even if he was fully in the comeback place, I don't think that they're going to upset whatever plans they have. But if he does make a comeback down the road, I can 100% see somebody picking up a thread and being like, wouldn't it be cool if like all of a sudden fucking Jonathan Majors showed up and like Kang like was all of a sudden like that I could absolutely see happening.
So you could see him coming back, but not anytime soon. But certainly it feels like there might be a comeback in motion here for him down the road. Because, I mean, talent always seems to win out, right, Michael? I mean, that's the number one thing. If you keep your head down, don't get into any more controversies, and you're talented, eventually people will forgive and Hollywood will open its doors again. And as you said, the court of public opinion will chime in. Mel Gibson, as the article cites, and Josh Brolin, and there are quite a few examples cited, they did some pretty horrific shit and then went through the time or whatever. Diane Lane not wanting to press charges with the Mick Gibson thing. He pleaded guilty and took his time. And then people accepted him back, and Josh Brolin became Thanos and Gibson was nominated for an Oscar. So I think this is very possible because people in their minds may go like, look, that was clearly a toxic relationship. We've all had those, and that wasn't good what happened, but he's done his time. He's moved on. He's done counseling. He's got a beautiful fiance here. And then him in the interview saying that he was sexually abused by both men and women from the age of 9 on, and his father left for a long time till college. There is clearly a concerted effort to paint him as a sympathetic figure now as a way back into the situation. And he didn't take any of the bait from these questions, Michael. So I think this was a good interview.
We'll see. I mean, look, I think Jonathan Majors is exceptionally talented. So I think that, so that's where I think if he does navigate all this, Marvel would probably want to use him in somewhere down the road. To your point about talent wins out, I don't know that again, I don't know the equation. Kevin Spacey's talented.
You see it, very talented.
Like there's no debate about Kevin Spacey's talent as an actor.
Right.
But Kevin Spacey does seem to be in that category where people are just like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, time will tell. 10 years from now, we're going to get some movie and Kevin Spacey's going to be in it as an older actor. And we're all going to be like, well, fuck. All right. Kevin's cool. Like it all is what it is. But at least for right now, it definitely seems like Kevin Spacey is not, the court of public opinion is not necessarily in his favor. Whereas everything you're saying, like Jonathan Majors, it's like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, the cynic in me reads this and goes, this seems all of a sudden he's suffered sexual abuse. All of a sudden he's willing to talk about it. And he talks about how I told my mother about it finally after all these years. It seems like you're using it to make him a bit sympathetic. That's my cynical part of my brain. The other part of my brain is like, well, if that really happened to him, then that does kind of put things in a different light because that can mess with you emotionally, mess with your triggers, mess with your reactions. Not that you're excusing any kind of physical abuse towards somebody, but certainly you can have an idea in your head, well, I can get why he might be someone who flips out. And he was clearly cheating on her. So that's another element to this as well, He's not
lots of people cheat. Cheating is wrong, but if cheating is the bar for kicking people out of politics or the entertainment industry, we no longer have a political system or an entertainment industry.
True. Very true.
The thing that you just said, your cynical brain and the other side of your brain are both correct. This entire article is manufactured by a very talented team of people that he has working with him.
Agreed.
And that doesn't mean that the sexual abuse isn't true.
Right.
For whatever reason, most people don't want to talk about that stuff. He probably never wanted to bring it up. But somebody on his team was like, hey. And I mean, this is how it works. They're like, hey. I don't want to be disrespectful, but that's fucking gold. You should talk about that. It is. I mean, a lot of articles have come out recently, particularly because of all the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff.
Oh, yes.
But this is where Hollywood and Washington are very similar in a lot of ways. Is all of that spin, all of that. We had this article come out at this time where we revealed this thing, and you're talking about this, and you're dating this person now to get past. It is a little bit gross. If you're a cynic, it is a little bit ugh, but it's just it's how things work. And so the spin of all of these things is a part of it. So your cynical brain going, he's bringing this out now and they're using this to bring sympathy to him, is your cynical brain is correct. The other side of your brain going, but if this is true, that is a really harrowing thing to go through. Both of those things could be 100% true at the same time.
Yeah. And they only quoted one ex-girlfriend in the article who had dated him for 3 years, I think, saying how she needs to see where he's changed because it was a pretty horrific relationship where she felt controlled by him, He decided who she could be friends with, where she went out. He was questioning her. And then another woman who was his fiance for 4 years, she refused to comment on anything in the story, but there was some stuff and incidents in the past with her as well. So there is what seems to be some troubled relationships in the past with him. I don't know how much of it is physical, how much of it is just a control.
Again, and this is where, this is where it just gets into stepping into whether you want to be a politician or a movie star. You're stepping into this, but like being an asshole doesn't mean you shouldn't get a job.
It's yes.
Like dating, someone going, I dated this guy and he was really controlling and told me that I couldn't be friends with people. Yeah, I'm not going to date a guy like that.
Sure.
But I'm also not going to be, oh, you're a controlling guy. I guess we're never going to hire you. It just like, there's again, it's that whole thing of like, there's a lot of people that are assholes. Remember Christian Bale yelling on set?
Yes. Good for you.
Good for you. Like there's a lot, like Russell Crowe.
Yeah, throwing
apparently an asshole.
Yes.
So there's lots of people that are assholes, and then there's people that you're like, oh, you crossed a line. And so again, he was right. He was right in that middle zone when it all happened. Like it was like, okay, what's true, what's not true, whatever. Given a lot of things, like that was as soon as Marvel dumped him and his reps dumped him, like he went through the thing, and it looks like he's coming back now. Will he come back? We shall see. But yes, I do not think he's going to come back in time for Secret Wars, but I do think that if he does, what you said about his time, if he does manage to navigate this, I have no doubt that he will continue to deliver amazing performances. And if he does come back and Michael B. Jordan brings him in and they do Creed 4 together and Creed 4, like there's a whole bunch of things that could happen. And if those things happen, I would not be surprised if down the road, Marvel was like, it's going to be awesome. Post-credit sequence, Kang walks out. Like I could absolutely see that happening.
Yeah. And I also think, I read today in the same Hollywood Reporter, how Louis C.K. is maybe coming back. So this seems to be, Michael, like ever since a certain somebody elected, it seems like everybody's going, well, you know what? We can all come back and everybody gets to come back in. And it seems like that's what's happening across the board, which is an interesting situation to see play out.
Here's the way. How do I say this? Here's how I look at it. And this is more just like personal philosophy. So like take it for a grain of salt, take it what you will. Like my question always is, with any of these things, whether it is somebody gets canceled for horrible behavior or you're not speaking to your cousin anymore because of something they said on your Facebook thread or whatever. Like I always wonder, well, what's the road to a better relationship? Yeah. How do we fix this? Like I'm not a big fan of saying to somebody, I'm done with you and I never want to speak to you again and you're out of my life and you're done. You're canceled. Like you're just finished. Right. It's like, okay, well, here's a thing that happened. Let's talk. Now, again, there are things, Harvey Weinstein being one of those things that you're just like, you know what? I don't even know where to begin. You're done. So there are people that like, you're just like, I don't see a road back. Yeah. But for the majority of people, or a lot of these things where we talk about people being canceled for one reason or another or whatever, I always just wonder, well, are we just punishing them forever? Or do we, what is the road to getting back on track for anyone? And so I hope anyone figures out these things and makes those roads back. But I mean, I always want it to be genuine. I don't want someone to just say the right things, be let back in and still be a horrible, like I don't want Louis C.K. to make a comeback and then start inviting people into his dressing room so he can jack off in front of them again. Like, true. Don't jack off in front of people anymore, and then we're good. You would think you'd know that from the beginning, but it's really weird. It is something that you would think is a very basic, like, there's certain rules, like take your shoes off when you walk into somebody's apartment. Don't jack off in front of people if they don't want you to. Like those are pretty easy ones. Into the plant, for God's sakes. Don't do that, for God's sake. Aisha makes a great point here. Aisha says, if you interviewed my ex-husband, you would think I was a straight maniac. I'm a completely different person from who I was in my teens and early 20s. I have to say, I agree with that. I was in the same boat, Aisha. I was a very confused, angry young man in my 20s and 30s. It wasn't until my 40s and my
now my subsequent new 30s that I calmed down and am a much more relaxed version of myself, for lack of a better, in comparison than I was.
I was John's roommate through a lot of those relationships, and I listened to a lot of the phone conversations and can attest to the fact that that is true.
Both in and out of the bathroom, that's for sure. Those are the things you can grow up from. But yeah, you got to do the work. You got to put in. That being said, I also think once you've done something like this, the rope to yank you back is a lot shorter. So if there's an incident with him and Megan Good, his fiance, then I think the public turns once again, just like they did recently with Kevin Spacey. The public turns on you immediately if they've given you a little bit of a leeway back. So we'll see what happens. One last thing on this, though, Michael. I got to ask you specifically. Apparently, he's been working out in West Hollywood, Michael. You're a stomping grounds, and he is putting together a fitness app that he is going to put out and with workouts. He's working with 4 different people. Have you seen any of these workouts? Have you run into the Jonathan Majors in West Hollywood? And would you sign up for a workout app from Jonathan Majors because of how good he looks?
I mean, I like my trainer just fine, and I like my gym just fine. So I don't need to sign up for his app. But I've not seen him at the gym, but I have seen him. Like I saw him at the Grove. Yeah, like I've seen Jonathan Majors. So like he's around. No, I've not seen him at the gym, which is probably best for everybody, because if I did see him at the gym, the chances of me staring and tripping over something and injuring myself are high. There's already enough hot people at my gym that I have a hard time working out some mornings. And if Jonathan Majors walked in, I did see what's his face from Desperate Housewives, Jesse Metcalf. He was at my gym the other day, and there was a lot of buzz. People were like, "Oh, it's Jesse Metcalf. Yes, Desperate Housewives, Desperate Housewives." Like, but yes, I've not seen Jonathan Majors yet.
I should say it's the same Vogel. Yeah, I mean, Chris Hemsworth has a pretty great workout app. If you guys haven't tripped,
I did use Chris Hemsworth workout app during the pandemic. I did sign up for his during the pandemic, and I did think that was good.
It was a good one. So I don't think I was signing up for Jonathan's. But that being said, you can't argue the results of his body. So clearly he's got a lot of irons in the fire. We'll see how Magazine Dreams is received. Certainly, a lot of people have spoken how much who've seen the film at festivals, how much his talent comes through in that performance. And this may be the steps back. And look, you got Michael B. Jordan in your corner. You got Matthew McConaughey in your corner. You got probably Spike Lee in your corner with Into Five Bloods. And so you've got a lot. Whoopi is in his corner, as well as quoted in the article. So there's a lot of people with power who want to see him do well. So that's a good support system if you're trying to make a comeback.
I do think also, I mean, and I think this is all because, like, there's always, I mean, to Aisha's point, look, you had a shitty relationship. That person is going to say you're a shitty person.
Of course.
I always also think when it comes to Hollywood, it's always important to look at when people have support from the people they've worked with in the past and when people don't.
Yeah.
It's hard for any of us to tell with all the spin that's out there and the PR people who is a good person, who's not a good person. The one thing spin can't account for is when you look at the people who have worked with you in the past stepping up and saying, I'm going to work with this person again.
Yeah.
And I think that again, that doesn't mean that they're a great person to everybody. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean, but like, if people are willing to step up for you, that says something.
Yep. Agreed. And that's the truth. You know, because you have to make it clear, just because you have a great relationship with this person and you've never seen this person do anything, it doesn't mean that this person still didn't do the thing they did in that relationship, because you're not in a relationship with that person 24/7, 3 a.m. in the morning, what have you. That's a different experience. So you can't only speak from your experience, but you can't discount other people's experience who maybe have more contact with this person than you did. So you got to keep all those options open, and we'll see what happens. I do think he's going to come back. I actually do think he's going to pop up in Doomsday or Secret Wars.
You are wrong.
I just have a crazy feeling.
You are wrong.
Probably, but I have a crazy feeling about it. Speaking about being wrong, though, let's talk about this. Michael, you were a couple of days ago, we had an episode of Geek Buddies. So we talked about Sadie Sink coming back to the coming into the Spider-Man universe in Spider-Man 4 here. And last night on the hot mic, Jeff Snyder made it very clear that from what he's hearing from his sources close to Marvel is that she might be playing Mary Jane. So Do you believe this? Are you still very clear that it's Gwen Stacy? Or could she be prime Mary Jane or ultimate Mary Jane, whatever it's called there? What are your thoughts on this? Is this possible?
Sure. Listen, here's what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
I know that we're living in a time, but I think Marvel coming out and being like, hey, we know we gave you the black MJ, but here's the real MJ. She's white, is a bad idea.
With red hair. Yeah.
Just a bad idea. Look, maybe she has, we talked, none of us know what the fuck Spider-Man 4 even is. And
it's
yes,
true.
If Spider-Man 4 is some mashup of different universes and different things, and she's going to be an MJ in some weird way, and they can make that work, sure.
Right.
I don't know that I think that's a smart move.
Okay.
I think that her being Gwen Stacy just makes a ton of sense. And look, I had, because of our discussion, I got 1,000 text messages from people saying what they agreed or disagreed with me on. And there was a lot of, but isn't she perfect for Jean Grey? Yeah, she'd be a great Jean Grey. Yeah. And if they make it work, and she's Jean Grey, fine. I think everybody was like, why were you so mad? Yeah. I'm like, I'm not mad about it. I just think all of the conjecture is silly. If Jeff is hearing from his sources that she's Mary Jane, okay, I just don't know how that works.
Yeah, right.
And I think that the version of it that we're all sort of doing, is Battle World, and there's a spider place, and everyone's there, and she's the other Mary Jane, and you're like, okay, we kind of toss it there, but you're like, just because it's the Jeff Goldblum, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I don't know what that does for Tom Holland. Basically you would be saying, as far as Tom Holland is concerned, because I'm assuming she's not some side Mary Jane who pops up and is like, hey, it's me, Sadie Sink. If you're bringing Sadie Sink in, it's for a big role, and giving Tom Holland a love triangle between his MJ, and a Mary Jane that looks more like classic comic book Mary Jane, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So
it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea is what
I mean, I do think it's a bad idea. And I don't know what they do with it. So I don't know. So I know that Jeff has good sources.
Sure.
I don't think they're always right.
He's not always right. Yeah.
Not always right. So I'm still gonna sit over here in my Gwen Stacy camp until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I mean, look I like the idea of her possibly being a Mary Jane, but not the main Mary Jane. But I mean, it is possible that he could meet a Mary Jane at college, right? And this is a different Mary Jane. And we know that MJ is moving.
I know, but
has no memory of him.
It's not like we're saying hey, I remember I dated 3 guys named Eric in college. It's not like it's a very specific thing calling her. She's not just some other Mary Jane.
No, but I mean, but
she would be, would, if she was, you know what I want? Here's what I want. And I have no idea what this is. You know who she would be a great Mary Jane for? Andrew Garfield.
Now you're trying to pawn her off on another Spider-Man.
I'm not, but my point is,
that's a great point.
In the scheme of how Spider-Man stories work, Tom Holland's Peter Parker has an MJ. It's Zendaya. It is what it is. There is someone filling that category. Yeah. And so if they want to do the love triangle, which I do think is a good idea, the next logical choice is Gwen Stacy. Whereas Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker lost the love of his life in a tragic way because Gwen Stacy died. So him meeting a Mary Jane would make perfect sense. Again, I don't think Sadie Sink is taking the role of Mary Jane to be an alternate realities Spider-Man in a Marvel movie, but that would make sense. It would not make sense for her to be Tobey Maguire's MJ because he has one, but so does Tom Holland. So it's again, in all of the conjecture of everything, it always does sort of, she could be anybody, and Marvel, with the multiverse and everything and magic and everything that they have at their disposal, they can do anything. That doesn't mean they should do anything.
I mean, I'm looking at the ages right now. Garfield's 41. Sadie Sink is 22.
Sounds like Hollywood to me.
I was just going to say that's Hollywood. So I could see it. Actually, I hadn't thought of it that way, but there are rumors that both Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire will be coming back in the Spider-Man 4. There's rumors. I'm not saying it's happening. There are rumors saying that. So it could make sense that she is Andrew Garfield's Mary Jane. It didn't say she was playing Mary Jane to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It said she was, Jeff saying that he's hearing that she's playing Mary Jane. It could be Mary Jane to Garfield. That's very, very true. It could be another Mary Jane from another, but good. Yes.
It could be. It's just like, I mean, this is where I feel like Sony, who has a proven track record of fucking up Spider movies.
It's true.
Learned all the wrong lessons from No Way Home. Like, I mean, we've litigated this 1,000 times, but like No Way Home should not be as good as it is.
I know, it's really
No
good.
Way Home shouldn't work. Like it should be bad. Like, oh, we're telling this Tom Holland story, but we're going to bring in all these villains from the other Spider-Man movies, and then we're going to bring in Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, and they're all going to fight. Like, it should have been so stupid, and it worked really well. And I think Sony was like, oh, see, that's what the people want. Let's give them more of that. But too much of that is going to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. We'll see what happens, though. But I mean, I do like the idea of her being MJ, but we'll see what happens. Because she is what? Michelle Jones Watson. She's MJ Michelle Jones.
Yes, MJ is not MJ. But like,
it's Michelle Jones, not Mary Jane.
Correct.
And the Watson is an abusive father, which is why she doesn't use the Watson. But yeah, I hear you. I do hear you. Like. But then again, I mean, the thing I was trying to make, a point I was trying to make earlier is like, I don't think Zendaya is long for being a part of the Spider-Man franchise because unless they give her something bigger to play, Zendaya is becoming a massive star to the
point. But neither is Tom Holland.
What? Say that again?
But neither is Tom Holland.
What do you mean?
Like, look, he's been in. If you count all of
them, moving on from it as well.
Yeah, like he'll have been in 4 Spider-Man movies.
True. Good point.
Plus 2 Avengers, 3 Avengers movies, Civil War. Yeah. Plus he's going to be, I'm assuming, in Secret Wars and Doomsday. He's been in 9 Marvel movies. So I feel like he's going to be like, I did it. I was Spider-Man 9 times. And whether they are going to go to a new Peter Parker or Miles Morales or Spider-Gwen or whatever they're going to do, I just feel like Tom Holland has put in his time.
You want to blow up the internet? Introduce Miles Morales as the same age as Sadie Sink, and she is his Mary Jane. You want to blow up the internet? That's how you do it.
Miles Morales doesn't date Mary Jane Watson. Miles Morales has other girlfriends that are not Mary Jane Watson.
Peter Parker did not have Ned. So,
I mean, that's a good point.
So I don't know. We'll see. The other one that I really want to get to, which people ran with yesterday. Jeff put this in his newsletter, but we talked about it on Hot Mic yesterday. Michael, you are a massive Superman fan. And right now people have glommed onto this possibility. Because Jeff mentioned it along with 10 other names who could possibly play Jor-El in Superman, because Jeff is saying that there are still cameos in the movie that have not been revealed, but he kind of fell upon this possibility of Tom Cruise playing Jor-El in the Superman movie. I have to get your thoughts on this. Brando to Russell Crowe to Tom Cruise. Does this make sense? I mean, I could see him with the white hair, being a scientist, swaggering around.
All I can think of right now in my head is the science council of Krypton telling Jor-El that the planet's not going to blow up, and Tom Cruise doing his Tom Cruise laugh at them. Like, guys, I don't know that Tom Cruise is going to be in a superhero movie. I hate it. I know you all wanted him as Iron Man. I know, like, mainly being because, like, I don't know that Tom Cruise plays a role that makes him older.
Oh, good point.
I think Tom Cruise is, at least as far as we can tell, very set on, I'm going to play the same role that I've been playing for 30 years age-wise, and I don't want anyone to tell me that I should age out of these roles. Like, and as soon as you're like, I'm stepping into even if it's in a small way, like I'm going to be Jor-El, you're kind of saying you're older.
It's a good point. And we certainly have seen him looking older in those Mission Impossible movies.
I mean, yes.
Well, maybe.
You know what's so fun? Okay, like it's not a horrible idea.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought
it's not. Okay. I just think every time we start, Tom Cruise is going to be in this movie. Marlon Brando to Russell Crowe to Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise stepping in. I don't think Tom Cruise is ever going to be like, I'm going to be a character that's going to show up in 12 movies. And I'm like Tom Cruise can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's true.
But Tom Cruise coming in a role that is by definition, a very small cameo, but very important.
Yes.
I just feel like Tom Cruise is too big to inhabit Jor-El. Like that's like I feel like Tom Cruise, which is dumb because Marlon Brando did it and he's Marlon Brando. So I guess like, I don't know. I'm struggling with it because I think it's not going to happen. But even as I'm talking, I can't deny the fact that you're like, it could be pretty cool.
Who would you want to see if it's not Cruise? Is there anyone? I mean, people have said Kurt Russell, but he did that already with Ego, the Living Planet. So
who would be a good Jor-El? That's a great question.
Because I mean, you got to carry the legacy of Brando and Russell Crowe, who is out there of that size and mass.
Russell Crowe is not a great Jor-El.
How dare you? How effing dare
you? The dads in Zack Snyder's Superman movie are not great.
Oh it's false.
But Marlon Brando's great. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
David Cornswit's dad.
I mean, De Niro's too old. Pacino can't do it.
De Niro is Jor-El. Really, it would be great. It would be something to see.
The world's gonna blow up. I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know, man. It is a tough one. Tom Cruise is not a bad idea.
I know. I mean, I like the Kurt Russell thing, but as I said, he already.
I don't think they'll do Kurt Russell mainly. I mean, particularly because Kurt Russell was Ego in a James Gunn movie. It's not even that he was in a Marvel movie or he was in a superhero movie. He's in a James Gunn movie. So
that would be tough to see. I agree. But I mean, like, who is of the girth who could play it? Would Mel Gibson be out? Oh my God. I would.
I want you to go and be a superhero. Do it now.
Do it now. Get to the rocket. Would Stallone be out? That's out of the realm of possibility.
Nah, Stallone.
He's worked with him. He's worked with James Gunn.
Man, I actually can't. I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to think of actors of a certain age that could really kind of fill that role.
I'm shocked you're drawing a blank. You usually
I really am. Do you know what's so funny? Actually, with all that we've talked about the Superman movie and all that we've talked about the people that we're going to see in it and the cameos that we're going to get and whatever, I didn't even think about Krypton. I didn't think about Lara, Jor-El, Zod, anything. And so until you literally just said Tom Cruise could potentially play Jor-El, I was like, oh yeah, we probably will see that. Yeah. I've been thinking ahead towards building out the DC universe. I know even I think it was on Twitter, and maybe this is part of what you guys are talking about. They were like, there's going to be 2 big cameos in the movie, and we know that Supergirl is going to be one of them.
Yes.
So what, and we already know so many other characters that are going to be in the movie. What's the other one? And someone of that caliber playing Jor-El does sort of feel like it fits the role, but like, man, maybe Tom Cruise is right. I don't know.
I mean, I love the idea that people said Tom Cruise and J-Lo. I could absolutely see that. Tom Cruise and J-Lo.
J-Lo?
As Corin Sweat's mom and dad. I think.
J-Lo?
Mr. Yasman says, what about your boy Pierce Brosnan? Oh, but he was already Dr. Fate, so I don't think you'd want to bring him in, but he could be a great choice. I like that. No? You don't like it? All right. Billy Crudup? No.
What about Billy Crystal?
Jeff Bridges? Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges. Man, Krypton's gonna explode, man. I don't know what to tell you.
We're all gonna die. Get out of here. Could see that happening. But no, it's got to be someone tweeted out or someone commented on the show last night and was like, when I said, like, it has to be someone of girth, someone you could see chopping wood out in the middle of the woods, because you've done Russell Crowe, you've done Brando. These are men of girth, of size, of power. So
please stop saying girth.
they're like, he's a scientist, man. He can't be this big. And I'm like, that's an Earth stereotype. Krypton may have muscular scientists. So I think you've gone from Brando to Russell. You've got to open the door to these men of size. Oh, Ray Stevenson would have been a great choice if he was still alive. Alan Ritchson. What about Alan Ritchson from freaking that show, Reacher? No, is he too big?
No. Okay, now you're going too far. Like, Jor-El is a scientist.
He's a scientist. Yeah.
I mean, Russell Crowe and whatever Zack Snyder did aside, like, you guys don't encourage the girth. Don't encourage the girth.
Mahogany and leather belt.
Yeah, like you're like Jor-El is a scientist of Krypton who is the one who discovers like this whole like I'm a big man and I'm in the forest. Like that's not who Jor-El is.
That's what I'm saying.
No, like you're like Marlon Brando has a presence.
Yes, that's what I'm getting.
Marlon Brando, when you go back and watch the opening of the Richard Donner Superman, he's not chopping wood.
That's true. He's not. I'm gonna put you in the rackets.
This is my son Kal-El. Krypton.
What about Liam Neeson? That's an interesting choice. I think
Liam Neeson, cool. I don't hate.
Yeah,
I don't hate Liam Neeson. By the way, Jeff Goldblum as your I feel like the planet is a little loosey goosey. I don't know.
Oh, this would really piss Michael off. Let's do it.
You're like, Dad, I think the planet's about to explode. You just go, stop. Let it explode.
They have to learn their lesson. Oh,
see, I don't hate Brendan Fraser.
I don't hate Brendan Fraser. Gotta be honest.
Patrick Stewart. No, that's like Kal-El's great-great-grandpa. Come on, guys.
That'd be good.
Get out of here.
Oh, Kevin McGuire says Henry Cavill is the only choice. Wouldn't that be something? I think it's still too soon. You couldn't bring him in.
Oh, God. You know what? Snyder people would... You would think that would be like a nice handoff.
Oh, yeah, no.
Snyder bros would be so mad about that. 100%. They would be so angry.
Oh, pissed.
Andrew Dice Clay as Jor-El. Get out of here. Yeah. Hickory dickory dock. Krypton's about to be fucked. Hey.
Are you the guy? Ray Fiennes? No, a little too old. Tucci's too old. Brian Cox.
You're going to hate me and you're going to think I'm wrong. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Stop it.
Jor-El is a young dad. Jor-El is we're acting like you guys in the chat. You're like going older and older and older, like Ray Fiennes, fucking conclave over here. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt or somebody like that who is actually more like a young. Like I would love to see Lara and Jor-El as young parents, not 40 to 50 something parents, like young parents with this kid who are being looked down on because they're younger. And all of the older authorities of Krypton are like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And he's right. Like that's actually more interesting to me than any of the stuff we're talking about, because I think that actually gives you a different take on Jor-El that would be really dynamic and interesting. Like Marlon Brando is the OG. Like they paid Marlon Brando a ridiculous amount of money
$3 million
to stand there and be Marlon Brando. And that was a smart move. Russell Crowe, Zack Snyder was 100% going for Jor-El, the action hero dad.
Yes. 100%.
And that was what he wanted. And that's actually a completely valid take on Jor-El. So it's fine. That's the least of my issues with that movie. But I do think doing something like a Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be, that's totally different. But to see this young kind of nerdy dad being like, I don't know what to do, but like the plant, like I have to tell these people, like that actually is interesting to me because it's different.
What about Clive Owen? That was someone who Snyder had looked at in the past, but I don't think Clive Owen's as big of a name necessarily.
He's not a huge name, but he falls more into the category of your mahogany Jor-El.
Yes.
But he'd be a good mahogany Jor-El.
Smell that Corinthian leather. Yeah, I like.
Oh my God! I swear to God, you and your manly men of comic books,
manly man of comic books. Oh, Vigo. Oh, come on. That's kind of the bridge between the two. Like,
Jason Sudeikis. Get out.
Get on the rocket, man. I like Vigo. I like that idea. We'll see. Well, anyway, we'll see because we got a little while to go until that movie comes out in July. So we will see. But wanted to get Michael's thoughts on it as an avid Superman fan, probably the number one Superman fan I know personally. So we'll see. But let's move on. This is the story. Speaking of Jason Sudeikis here, man, Ted Lasso season 4 has been greenlit. Apparently, Michael, this is happening there. I see Jason Sudeikis and Hannah Waddingham leading that cast. It is apparently in motion. Does this excite you? I mean, does this make you, are you a Ted Lasso fan? Or what are your thoughts on this situation?
I am a Ted Lasso fan.
Okay.
I do think that
I like where you're going already. Go ahead.
I am a big Ted Lasso fan. I love season 1 and I love season 2. I think season 1 and 2 of Ted Lasso are great. If you know anything about like Hollywood, the Hollywood rumor mill and everything, like the season 3 of Ted Lasso was kind of a different, there was a lot of behind the scenes struggles of who was really controlling that show.
Yeah.
And season 3 had a different vibe, in my opinion, than season 1 and season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the result of who won those behind the scenes battles and who didn't, and who went on to do other shows and who didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that season 3 of Ted Lasso, I will always like Ted Lasso. I think Ted Lasso, I talked to somebody about this recently and they were saying that they were, in their opinion, Ted Lasso wasn't a great show. And I disagreed with them. I said that I thought season 1 and 2 of Ted Lasso were great, but they said that Ted Lasso just came out at the right time. We were all in the pandemic. We were all in a bad place.
Yep.
And this show came out that was just a feel-good, warm blanket hug of a show. And it just was what we needed. And I think for that reason, even though I think the show is better than this person had said it was, I think for that reason, I will always have a soft spot for Ted Lasso. But I do think season 3 was not great.
Yeah.
I think like for me, the real test of it, and I don't know if anybody else had this experience, but like in season 3, Ted Lasso would say things.
Yeah.
He would do his little asides. Well, that's like a Muppet in the middle of a burning. Like he'd say something, and it would be the same type of thing that he said in seasons 1 and 2. But in seasons 1 and 2, it was charming, and in season 3, I would be like, that doesn't. It just, nothing quite landed right. It felt like they were trying to do what they had been doing in seasons 1 and 2, but it didn't quite work as well. And it was still a perfectly enjoyable season. I watched it and had a good time. So when I saw the news that season 4 was coming back, it's sort of like, okay, but I feel like what we're getting is the season 3 team. Like the season 3 team is getting a season 4.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's ultimately going to be what I want it to be. This is the same as like when Aaron Sorkin left West Wing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I've watched all of West Wing.
Right.
And I enjoy all of West Wing broadly, but there's a moment where even if you're not very into the writing of stuff, you're watching it and you're like, this was great, this was great, this was great, this was different. This doesn't feel the same. These characters feel different. And that's how I feel about season 3. So am I excited? Sure. Am I going to watch Ted Lasso? Yes. But am I like thrilled? I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat, and I'll say this, and look, there is no show that should have worked for me like Ted Lasso. Like being a massive fan of English football, I watch it every weekend, and I have my team Liverpool, and I love it. For decades, I've watched the Premier League, and so for me, this is, and I like Sudeikis. I always liked him on SNL, and I thought, okay, this is going to work. This is as an Anglophile, seeing an American go over to coach a team like. The first season was fantastic. I'm with you on that, Michael. It is absolutely one of those, like, you can go back and rewatch that whole season and feel those butterflies of happiness that you felt during COVID. You can go nostalgic for that.
Yep.
Second season, there are some good episodes, but there's also, you can tell they're kind of overplaying their hand a little bit. It's the sophomore slump in some of those episodes. And then the third season is just a mishmash of trying to live off the vapors of the first season, and it becomes ridiculous. Some of the storylines became really ludicrous. I thought they blew the whole Nate situation completely because they had presented him in a certain way, and the arc back was so quick that there wasn't enough depth, there wasn't enough complexity. And not that I'm looking for Game of Thrones from Ted Lasso, but if you're going to make him go that far over the line, you've got to take the time to bring him back. much more slowly than you did. And so for me, in the end, I thought the final episode was good, but a lot of those episodes in that third season just did not work. So I agree with you. And of course, this is one of the perils of being close to Hollywood or knowing people in Hollywood. We know the behind the scenes stuff was pretty brutal, and it essentially became a civil war between, from what I've heard, Bill Lawrence's camp and Sudeikis' camp. And Sudeikis was going through that divorce with Olivia Wilde. There was all of that happening as well. So there was a lot of drama behind the scenes. So all the hokey, love everybody and get over things kind of rang hollow because of stuff that was going on behind the scenes. So we'll see what they do with the season 4. I would love it if they recapture the magic. The fact that he's going to be coaching a women's team is pretty smart considering how female sports has blown up over the last 2 to 3 years. And they laid the groundwork for that at the end of the third season with Rebecca and Juno Temple buying a women's team. So this is a smart move, but they got to make this work because they were on fumes in season 3. So I hope they don't damage the brand more, you know? Yeah. Anyway, all right. So there you go. That's our thoughts on that. Let's move on to something you really deeply want to talk about. Let's go. Freakier Friday, Michael. New installment, the new movie coming out here with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. A trailer was dropped today exploring this, and apparently there are 4 people involved in this now, switching bodies. So, Michael, what did you think of this trailer? This was a teaser trailer, almost 2 minutes long, though. Your thoughts?
You're like Vogel really passionately want to talk about it. Here's the thing.
You said you were there opening night, so that
opening night I'm in.
Okay.
Am I passionate about this? No.
Okay.
Am I in 100%? Yes. I love the Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan Freaky Friday. I think it is a great, I'll take it. It is a great reboot of Freaky Friday.
Okay.
Did I need a Freakier Friday? No. But I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes. Who doesn't? She's great.
I'm glad Lindsay Lohan is back. I guess I was, as we said on our text chain, a friend of ours made me watch the Lindsay Lohan Netflix Christmas movie. And so I am very well aware of the fact of where Lindsay Lohan's acting skills are today and how much her face can actually move. And I've accepted that. But this is, it just looks stupid and fun. And I love a quadruple Freaky Friday. We've seen so many versions. There's Freaky Friday, there's father and son, there's vice versa. There's all these versions of the body swap story, but doing the foursome, doing the, all right, mom and daughter both trade places with granddaughters, and now everybody is mixed up, and you've got super hottie Manny Jacinto in there for I don't know why, but he's in the movie. And you've got a Chapel Rowan song over the whole thing. I'm like, this will be great. Honestly, watching Jamie Lee Curtis just run around and be Jamie Lee Curtis is all I need really to be in it. Do I think this movie is going to be good? Chances are no.
Yeah.
Do I think I'm going to have a blast going to see it when it comes out? 100% yes. Do I think John and Shannon will have a blast seeing this movie? No, I do not.
100% no. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, I love Jamie Lee as well. I never saw the original, the remake of the original with Jamie Lee.
You never saw it?
No, I never saw it. No.
Oh, it's so great.
Why would make you think that I would pop that on? You know what? I got to see this. I was a big Lindsay Lohan fan for Mean Girls. I thought she was great. And then all of that drama happened with behind the scenes stuff and I guess drugs and drinking and all of that. And she's clearly done the plastic surgery on her face, as you said, the Botox or whatever. And her talent her acting ability is gone. Basically, it's gone. She can deliver the lines somewhat surface level, believable, but there's not that thing that you saw in Mean Girls. I mean, that was a star that was about to explode. And I was looking forward to seeing what she was going to be able to do. And all the other stuff happened. So listen, on one side, I'm very happy she made it all the way back. And people want to see her stuff, and Netflix clearly keeping her afloat to a degree. And I think she's married to a billionaire now or a developer like that. So she's set. She's good. Coming back and doing this.
I just got a text message from a gay.
Okay.
Saying, yes, Freakier Friday discussion on Geek Buddies.
I love it. But I also love that Julia Butters is a part of this, who I've been a fan of since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and seeing her kind of grown up now playing this role is great. Sophie Hammond is going to be fun in this role. So this looks like, for the people who are going to enjoy this, is
putting Lindsay Lohan's acting ability aside. I do think, because I when they announced it, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for a Freakier Friday. Give it to me. But so like they're gonna switch places again, and they're later in life. I do think having all 4 of them switch places does open up some fun comedic possibilities that we've not seen before. So I think it's a smart idea. Yes. I think it'll be a fun, cute movie. Like, I don't think it's gonna like, you know, knock anybody's socks off, but I think it's the right kind. It's also the right kind of thing for Lindsay Lohan to do. Like, I agree. I'm still not 100 after watching the Christmas movie, which, if you want to really enjoy yourself, take video of me watching one of those Christmas movies on Netflix. I'm actually not sure how much of it is Lindsay Lohan can't act anymore or Lindsay Lohan can't actually emote. Like, I'm not quite sure where it lands.
Okay, fair.
Because it might just be like my face, like there was a lot of like, I'm surprised, I'm scared, I'm sad. Like, it was pretty much the same face. I don't know. Maybe this is going to be the thing. Like, I do think Lindsay Lohan has a good actress in her. We saw it when she was younger, not just in Mean Girls, but like in The Parent Trap, in Freaky Friday. Like, she actually was very, very funny, and she was really good. So maybe this is the movie that brings her back, and we're like, oh man, she was really fun. Like, so I'm rooting for her, even if I don't know that it's going to really land, but I'm just excited to see this movie.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with it.
I'm also now excited to make John watch the original Freaky Friday.
Don't even start.
Not the original reboot Freaky Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's move on to this trailer then, Michael. What were your thoughts? Did you get a chance to watch the F1 trailer here in the new Brad Pitt film? Him and Damson Idris playing the young lion, old lion, essentially Days of Thunder for 2025. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Top Gun Maverick. Also starring Kerry Condon and Javier Bardem. This was the first official trailer. You know, I loved it.
I feel like I'm gonna get my Geek Buddies card revoked for glowing about Freakier Friday, and then what I'm about to say here.
What were your thoughts on this?
It's the most boring trailer I've ever seen in my life.
What? Come on! You're insane.
Listen,
boring.
I just kept waiting. Like, the trailer started. I saw it in the theater when I went to go see Mickey 17, and so you see Brad Pitt, you see cars.
Yes, you do.
They're going really fast.
Vroom, vroom.
It's clearly well shot. Yes. And I was like, cool, this looks nice. Now the trailer's moving. Let's see what the movie's about. And there was more cars, and they were going fast. And there was more Brad Pitt in the car that was going fast. And then it said coming soon. And I watched it for like 2 minutes, and I was like, okay, but like, what is it?
What do you mean, what is it?
So Brad Pitt's in a car and it goes fast. Like, it's like, okay.
No,
like it might be amazing. It might be absolutely amazing. But as a trailer, I was like, that trailer gave me nothing except here's a really well shot movie about cars that go fast and Brad Pitt's in it.
How dare you? The story was there in the dialogue. He is a guy who was a has-been or a never was, clearly blew his potential. Here's a young buck who comes along. Javier Bardem takes a chance by hiring Brad Pitt to train the young buck. The young buck doesn't want to hear about it because the young buck thinks he knows what to do, even though he hasn't won a race. And they have to battle and figure it out and learn from each other. And by the way, he gets to make out with Kerry Condon at the same time.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Does anybody switch bodies?
Nobody switches.
Not interested. Pass. Pass. If there was a body, so you told me the young buck is training the new guy, but then they switch bodies and have to figure it out. Maybe now I'm interested.
Do you want to see Brad Pitt do black voice? I don't think you want to see Brad Pitt do a British black voice. I don't want to see that at all. No, but I do think your positive criticism is correct. It's beautifully shot. Jesus
it's beautifully
Christ.
Shot. Listen, it was one of those trailers that's like, Brad Pitt in a movie about race cars is beautifully shot. I'm probably gonna see it. Like, it's like I didn't watch the trailer and go, "This is garbage." Right. I did find the trailer a little dull, though. I did find it a little boring. Like, I was like, okay.
Oh, you can make me slam my head in the wall. I was jazzed. And if anybody wants to watch my reaction to it, you can watch it. It's on the channel right now. Yeah, there it is. Brad Pitt as Jor-El.
What about Jamie Lee Curtis as Jor-El?
Oh, sure.
She could do it.
Why not? She'll probably win an Oscar for it. Why not? Put her in there. So we'll see. That one's coming out soon. So I'm looking forward to this. One last thing before we get some of these questions, Mike, because I know we gotta get going in a little bit, but we got to get to these questions. But Michael and I have been debating this on Twitter. I don't know if you will know this. And there is a shot of Bucky Barnes, who's apparently been, and he's got the arm there, who's apparently been elected to Congress in Thunderbolts. So not only are we getting Bucky Barnes back to be a superhero, Mike, he's also bringing the United States government with him. So your thoughts, is this believable? Do you like this? Do you believe that he's actually won the election? Your thoughts?
I just love how angry you were about him being a congressman on Twitter. Like you were, I'm just scrolling through Twitter, minding my own business, trying to look at funny memes about the Traitors finale. And
what a great
and you are like, whoa. Bucky Barnes got elected to Congress? This assassin? How dare people vote for him?
I didn't dare. How dare? I was wondering aloud how it happened. I didn't say how dare.
First of all,
yes,
Bucky Barnes is like gold to be elected to Congress. He's gold for politics, like a World War II vet.
Yes, true.
Who
I'm
was
glad
a
you got the war right. I'm glad you got.
Now I got the war right. I knew which war it was. It's the Red Skull. It's the Nazis. I just mistyped. World War II vet who was a POW.
Yes, he was a POW.
Who was a POW for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Who was rescued by his best friend Captain America after doing unspeakable things for bad people. And redeemed himself and worked his way back with the help of the King of Wakanda to then fight off an alien invasion, get dusted during the blip, come back and save humanity from Thanos. Like, that man can run for any office he wants and he wins. Like, that is like, it is a home run. You're like, oh, well, he killed Tony Stark's parents. Sure, when he was under Hydra's control, he was a POW. That's part of the story. It's like the Jonathan Majors thing. Like, he probably did some Vanity Fair article where he talked about his time as the Winter Soldier. And somebody's like, well, didn't you kill Howard Stark? And he's like, one of the hardest things that I had to deal with was facing Tony when he found out that I killed his dad. But if Tony could forgive me, then that's when I could forgive myself. You know, and everyone in America said, oh, I'm voting for Bucky Barnes. I'm voting for Bucky Barnes.
We don't know that Tony forgave him. That's no scene anywhere in the situation.
We don't know that he didn't, and Tony's dead. Who's gonna say? Who's gonna say?
One of the hardest things I did was face Tony Stark and then beat him to death almost with my buddy Captain America in a 2-on-1 fight. I mean, come on. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised by this because they shoved this storyline into Captain America 4, clearly to connect it to Thunderbolts, which is again one of the issues with Marvel. Oh, you don't? Oh, please. What do you think?
Oh, they did shove it in. They did shove it in for sure. But I don't think they shoved it in to make it make sense. I think their plan was 100% to just have Thunderbolts come out and, Bucky is a congressman now or running for Congress or whatever. Right. I think, and again, I'm making this up. I have no source that told me this. This is just like my writer vibe. Okay. I think the Russo brothers came in and said, this movie's a mess. And we need just a couple moments in here that really, like, we can't fix the whole movie. We talked about this in our Captain America Brave New World review. You can't, when you watch a cut of a movie, even Marvel, who is famous for reshooting movies, like you can't fix the entire thing. Yeah. So you go in and you fix what you can, you do what you can. And that Bucky scene is 100% shoved in. But I think they were like, look, Bucky's running for Congress. We know that from Thunderbolts. That's already done. So we can bring him in here in this moment. And I don't think they shoved it in there to kind of go make the Congress thing work. I think if we just watched Thunderbolts and that had been something we learned there, we would have been fine with it. Right. I think, and we said this in our review, he fuck, now I can't remember the line because it's been a few minutes since we saw the movie, but he says to Sam in that scene, Steve inspired people.
Yes.
You give people something to aspire to.
Yes. Steve
that
inspired,
sentence is the most clear what that movie should have been about all the way through. And it just smacks of somebody going like, all right, I'm going to have Bucky show up and say the thing that we hope the audience comes away with. Yeah. So I do think that scene was shoved in there, but I don't think it was shoved in there to make the Congress thing right. I think they shoved it in there to try and make sense of Sam's story. And they just used the Congress thing because they already knew that from Thunderbolts.
Yeah. All right. That's a good point. Oh, I see. So the Thunderbolts thing was already shot with the Congress stuff.
They already know. Like Thunderbolts made the decision. Bucky is running for Congress, and maybe that we won't know until we see Thunderbolts in a month or so. But with Julia Louis-Dreyfus basically running the CIA, having Bucky be a congressman, I'm sure that there's something. There's probably a reason in the movie that he is where he is.
Good point.
And then they just kind of were like, okay, well, that's where he is, so we can use him here for this scene.
It's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way in reverse. So, yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. So now he's a congressman. Some people were saying Russian asset. I think the way you presented it was the way I hadn't quite thought about it, because it's like this.
You have to remember that if you assume that that's a reshoot, which for 1,000 reasons, I think that was a reshoot. That means that Thunderbolts was already figured out.
Well, no. I mean what you were saying earlier. Like, how does he get elected? He's doing all these interviews where he does the mea culpas. I hadn't thought of it that way, where he's owning up to it and confronting it and speaking about it honestly. Because, just because, people were already turning on the Avengers after the blip, as we saw in the MCU. So people have very short memories when it comes to stuff like this. Thanks, you saved us 3 months later. Why are you doing this shit? That's just how we are as people. So I think
Hawkeye got a free Chinese meal out of it.
Oh God, I think they would turn on him eventually. But the fact that he might step up and lean into it, which is Bucky's nature. So yeah, that's a good point. All right,
Hawkeye got a free Chinese meal.
Yeah.
First of all, tried not to, but that guy said, "Hey, you saved us. This meal's on the house." Plus, we know from Daredevil: Born Again that Rogers the musical is still going strong on Broadway.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Because I was thinking he would only be MAGA, because only MAGA people would accept the fact that the guy killed a bunch of people under Russian mind control. But now that you say that he could lean into his, he could have gone either way. So we'll see. But they're not going to tell us either way. I mean, Marvel's not going to say, just like they did with Thunderbolt Ross. We don't know what party Thunderbolt Ross was in. So I'm sure they want to keep that out of the whole situation. All right. Is there anything more that we had on our list, Michael? I think that's everything. Should we get to
but now I want to go through and figure out what political party every Avenger is part of, just to get everybody riled up. Who in the Avengers is a Republican? Who voted for Trump?
Oh my God, Tony Stark, probably. I would imagine Stark would be a Republican, a conservative at least. Maybe not a Trump Republican, but I think he'd certainly be a conservative. Especially because he wanted to build that whole system,
suit of armor around the moon.
Yeah,
exactly. No, suit of armor around the earth.
Exactly, to monitor people. All right, well, let's get into the questions here, Michael, as we're at an hour and 10 into the show. Let's do this. Owen Landing said Spider-Man 4 needs a big MCU player. Quill is on Earth. Could give Peter some advice on the person you love getting who you are.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that aspect of it. With everything we're talking about with Spider-Man 4, I didn't think about that whole every Spider-Man movie kind of has a bigger player in the MCU. Like it was Iron Man, and then it was sort of Nick Fury / Mysterio, and then it was Doctor Strange. Like Peter's always had like that mentor, someone helping him. I think that at least in the original concept, that would have been Daredevil.
Right. Yes.
Like when they were going to do the grounded Spider-Man thing, it made Spider-Man is now a hero on his own. He doesn't have the support of anything. Nobody knows who he is. Right. Daredevil would have been the ideal candidate, but now who knows? And with everything that Sony and Marvel are trying to figure out with Spider-Man 4, and when it takes place in the doomsday of it all, a lot of that might go out the window, but it would be interesting if they did stick with that big, one big person is sort of the mentor, the helper, the something. Yeah.
And Owen clarifies, meant forgetting who you are, and that Star-Lord could school Peter about what it's like to deal with that. That's a great point. And he's on Earth. There's a reason he's on Earth. So Owen Lanning says, got my red wine too, Johnny boy. Yes, thanks for all you guys do. Love the show. There you go. Thank you, Owen. Appreciate it. That's right. I mean, this is working. I'm a little buzzed, buddy. So here we go. Poison's Plants 15 says, what actors do you think DC should go after? I mean,
like just in general,
Mikey Madison, 100%. You gotta lock her up now, dog.
It's just I'm trying to think of like who the characters, like they need a Wonder Woman. I don't know what James Gunn is thinking, but they need a Wonder Woman. So who that's gonna be.
What have you liked of the suggestions? You've seen like Adria Arjona from Andor. There's been Jaya Rodriguez has put her name in the hat. What do you think about it? Is there any names that have stood out to you?
No, I mean with Wonder Woman, I think it's sort of the same as Superman. It's like you need someone who has barely done anything at all, who really just comes out and surprises. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like some bigger names that would be like a kind of to the point of what we were talking about before. Like, I think there's certain roles that you should always go for unknowns, but who are the big actors that you bring in to really like ground your universe?
Yeah. I mean, I
don't know.
Kurt Russell's out now of Marvel, so I would think Kurt Russell's someone you look at to bring in for some role or whatever, and that's a possibility.
Paul Giamatti comes to mind.
Ooh, Giamatti.
Obviously not to be some like ripped superhero, but like Paul Giamatti sort of being somewhere in the DC universe. I don't know why. It's like literally just it popped in my head.
If you make a more realistic Superman, he could be Mixoplick, couldn't he? Slippleskim? I mean, for God's sakes, that's a possibility.
Realistic and Mixoplick do not go together. Just so we're really clear. Like,
he's not going to be wearing a hat or anything. He'd be a completely different version is what I meant. But yeah. Owen also says, guys, Jor-El needs to at least look like he could have had a newborn son. That's
that's what I meant about the Joseph Gordon-Levitt of it too. Yeah. I mean, I think like a younger Jor-El and Lara. Also, just completely separate of this, if you're not reading like absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Batman, absolute Superman right now, which are sort of like kind of new versions, retellings of these stories, the absolute Superman story is really cool. And at least in the first 5 issues, Jor-El and Lara play a pretty big part, and definitely worth checking out.
Is it the same writer, or are they different
writers? But it's sort of like each one is sort of a alternate version. Like we're doing like they shake things up, they tell a different story.
Right.
So some things are similar, but some things are vastly different. Thomas Wayne isn't a doctor, he's a school teacher. Kal-El spent a lot more time on Krypton before he came to Earth. Like there's just things that are very different, but really all 3 of them are a lot of fun. Mike Kalinowski was the one who was like, you've got to read them. And I've been checking them out and they're really, really good. But Jor-El and Lara, and kind of what Owen was saying about a younger, sort of more dynamic Jor-El and Lara, definitely check that out.
Yeah, Kalinowski tells me all the time. He's like, I don't know how you find time to do all the things that you're watching and doing. I was like, how do you find time to read all this, read the comic books, read the books, do Universal and do the show? So, you know, right back at you there. Zeus says Andrew Dice Clay is Jor-El. LOL.
I'm in.
Mark Santiago, what's up, Mark? Says, what DC and Marvel superheroes should Huck and Blueberry become? Huck and Blueberry forever. Michael, that's on you.
Let's see. Huck should be what's his name? The Southern Sam Guthrie. Sam Guthrie X-Men. He's got a little Southern twang. I don't know.
Sure.
Blueberry should be like someone mystical like Zatanna.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice choice. All right. You answer that one. Kevin Frazier says, happy Friday, happy hour, guys. Thank you, Kevin. Had either of you seen Paradise? Really didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Yes, we tore through Paradise over 2 days. What an awesome show. Well, yeah, because we caught up and then we did the finale when it came out last week. What a great show. I am not a This Is Us fan. I hated that show. So I did not get indoctrinated into the cult of what's the main actor's name? Oh, okay. You know what?
I gotta go.
What's the main actor's name? Wait, no, it's not Court. What's
Milo Ventimiglia?
No, the guy in Paradise.
Sterling K. Brown?
Sterling K. Brown. I'm not a Sterling K. Brown. I haven't been dipped in his waters yet, but watching him in
I would like to be dipped in those waters.
Watching him in this show, the man has perfected the almost blink to show emotion, the repetitive almost blink. It's amazing. He's perfected the one tear coming down, the grip, the biting of the lip. This is good acting. And I thought Julianne Nicholson was great as the essentially antagonist in the show. So, and James Marsden was really good as well. And the twists and turns. Michael, have you seen Paradise on Hulu?
Oh, I've seen Paradise.
Okay.
But I just want to go take a step backwards to you hating This Is Us.
I said I didn't like it. I didn't say I hated
it. Look, This Is Us is ridiculous. But This Is Us was a show that I knew. Like, I would literally bank 2 or 3 episodes of This Is Us, and then I would have a night where I didn't have any plans, and I would order myself some takeout, and I'm like, okay, here we go. We're going to cry. Let's cry tonight. And because every episode of This Is Us, without fail, made me bawl my face off for however many seasons. And I loved every minute of it. I thought Sterling K. Brown was amazing. Paradise was wild because I had some friends who watched it. And they're like, have you watched it yet? And I'm like, no. And they're like, watch it. Watch the pilot. Don't read anything. Don't go in. And I'm not going to say anything for people in the chat who haven't watched it. They're like, don't know anything. Just go in. So I went in and watched the pilot. And I got done with the pilot. And I went, holy shit. That was wild. And then there's a couple episodes, 2 or 3. It gets a little soapy for me. But I'm in.
Yeah.
The season is great. The 7th episode, which is the episode before the season finale.
Oh man.
I was on the edge of my seat and cried 5 times. That was one of the best hours of television that I've watched all year. And then the finale was great. Paradise is A++ television. 100%. Could not recommend more.
Yep. I agree with him. 100%. A++ television for sure. Thank you for that question, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother. Adeep Mahmood says, will Ted coach a female expansion team? No.
Yes.
No, there is the Women's Super League, which is in England, which has teams.
Do they have powers?
What? Do they what?
The Women's Super League?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it's called.
Like the Justice League?
Well, no, it's not like that because no, they don't have powers. But
I guess I'll still watch it.
They're playing soccer well. But they've got Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City. There's already teams, so it could be interesting to see. But they may buy a Richmond team and then expand it into the league. That's probably possible. Alan Smithy, what's up, Alan? Says, hear me out, Geeky Friday. Hear me out. Geeky Friday, where John Rocha and Michael Vogel switch bodies. Oh, Jesus. Shannon is just along for the ride, mostly laughing hysterically. Rocha directing My Little Pony. Vogel having to run Rocha's Twitter. Sounds great.
You want to see what would be crazy is Vogel co-hosting the hot mic. I don't know how that would go.
You guys would only get through 2 topics. You'd be fighting the whole time. I think a Vogel Rocha Freaky Friday would be good. I think it'd be scary, really scary. Because you'd be in a heavier body, which would drive you insane. And I'd be quiet, I'd be like, oh, this is great. But then I'd have to be.
Yeah, but then you'd have to have sex with a dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have to be gay. I have to go to these West Hollywood clubs and drink and stay up till 3 a.m. like you do.
Stay up till 3 a.m. having vodka sodas and dancing to Chapel Row. And your life is gonna be so hard.
I like to be in bed by 3 a.m. Zawada says, Vogel, favorite Coen Brothers movie? John loved the Cinephiles. Yeah, we just started today. We dropped our first episode for the season of the Coen Brothers on the Cinephiles. We talk about our love of the Coen Brothers movies and their legacy for about 2 hours on the Cinephile. So, Michael, do you have a favorite Coen Brothers movie?
Might be Raising Arizona.
Is it still Raising Arizona?
It might still be. They've done a lot. I love. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is amazing. But something about it's a lot. It's the same way that I feel, and I think the Coen Brothers have had an amazing. It's not that I think that their later films are not good, but it's kind of like the Michael Bay conversation we had a couple weeks ago, where I think Michael Bay in his Bad Boys, The Rock era is that's a hungry young director who's just doing whatever the fuck he wants. Then you get to Armageddon and it's you got the budget, but I still love it. And then after that, it just sort of gets a little over the top. Something about Raising Arizona is still so Plucky? I don't know. Just like a plucky movie.
I would agree. It's like the Reservoir Dogs for the Coen brothers. Like,
yeah.
I still think Reservoir is the best Tarantino for myself. My favorite, rather, not the best, my favorite. And I think Raising is up there as well, bro. It's probably a top 3 for me. I
think Tarantino has got to be Pulp Fiction for me.
Yeah, for you? Right on. Right.
But you know what? I kind of like The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Like most people like sleep on it because it's so long, and then you have Channing at the end doing whatever the fuck he's doing. But I really like The Hateful Eight.
I agree with you, man. The extended cut is a lot of fun as well. I enjoy that one too. Owen Lanning says, can we get Taylor Sheridan making a movie again? Wind River was so damn good.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
Let that man do whatever he wants.
Yes.
I just finally finished Landman.
Oh, yeah. How good was that show, brother?
That show is great.
Yep.
That show. I don't think Ali Larter has ever been better.
100% agree with you.
And I think Landman is great. And then I just caught up on season 2 of 1923.
Oh, yeah.
And man, Taylor Sheridan, let him make whatever movies, TV shows, just let him do it. He's got his finger on what he wants to do, and he does it real, real well.
Yeah. Lioness is excellent. And Landman are great. I haven't watched 1923, so those are those things. I've got to watch.
You haven't watched Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren holding down the Dutton farm.
I've got to watch
while Timothy Dalton is twirling his mustache. Like it is just like so over the top. 1923 is wild, but it is just like I am hooked. I'm hooked on all of it.
And they're a married couple, right? Helen and Harrison.
Yeah,
is that correct? Okay, yeah. I got to do 1883, then 1920. You know what? I'll probably do that next week. I got to watch those. I won't.
It's great. It's like listen, the Dutton extended universe that Taylor Sheridan has created. It is great because I think I said this before, but like the Yellowstone extended universe, I can talk to my parents about the way I cannot talk to them about the Marvel cinema. Like they don't know Tony Stark from T'Challa, from Steve Rogers. They don't know, but boy, my dad knows Harrison Ford. So they did this on the Dutton Ranch 100 years earlier because then 100 years later, Kevin Costner this and then done and then on Landman. Like my dad is just tapped in. He's in it.
I think Taylor Sheridan is bringing people together from both sides of the aisle, and that's a rarity, because he has blue state sensibilities in a red state framework with some red state sensibilities as well, which I like.
I do know people.
Yeah.
That friends and family members who like just really don't like Taylor Sheridan shows because they feel like it's too red statey, it's too it's too whatever. But I think you're right. I do think Taylor Sheridan. I think part of the appeal is, it's a show that appeals to the widest possible audience. Like it's a show that it's one of the few shows that it doesn't matter who you voted for.
Yes.
You're going to like this show.
You're going to like the show. Yeah, I agree 100%. And he has strong female leads in almost all of his shows.
Yeah.
As much as you want to bash Ali Larter for being a woman who lives off her body and whatever.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that we're on the subject.
Yeah.
I had somebody say they did not like Landman because they didn't like how sexualized Ali Larter and her daughter were.
Okay.
And they thought that was offensive. But I was like, well, yes, except these women are doing exactly what they want to do. Like they don't feel like they are subservient to any man in this show. So it was interesting. I would be interested to talk to some women about it too. But like I was really, because I kind of had the opposite take on both Ali Larter and her daughter. Her daughter, by the way, is also in 1923, completely different character.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would say that I loved the way they portrayed, but like initially the daughter for me, I was like, do I really want to see it? But then I realized, no, this is, you don't live in Texas. You don't live.
She's delightful. She's delightful.
Both of them have much more levels to them than you think. And this, do I think if you could get rid of like the whole thing with the nursing home and did I need all that? Not necessarily, but you're showing that they have a sensibility to care for people want to be taken care of in our society.
I love that they had EMS on hand at the. I love that they were like, we're going to take a bunch of old people from the old folks home to the strip club, but we're going to have EMS on hand in case they all have heart attacks.
Yeah. But I think it's simplistic to say they're sexual because you find out about Ali Larder's past and the stuff they went through when they got divorced and what the reasons for all of that is and why certain things are important to her. She's a different character. So if you're going to have all these female empowerment characters in a certain way exist on TV, you can't remove other women who find empowerment through different means in order to control their lives. And I think you said it really well, Michael. Neither one of those women suffer any male fools.
Yeah, they're doing what they want to do.
Yeah, they do what they want to do, for better or worse. Owen says, Jason Ritter and Lanterns. Man, I'm so excited about the show. It sounds amazing, and the team behind it is amazing. Yeah, that got announced last night. Jason Ritter and Lanterns on Jeff's newsletter. What do you thought there, Michael? You like the idea?
I saw Jason Ritter 2 blocks away at the coffee shop on the corner buying coffee, and he was wearing a dipper hat. And I was real. I told him I liked his hat, and then I told him he kind of looked like the character from that show, but I didn't know what it was, and he thought that was real funny. And Jason Ritter's great on Matlock right now. Jason Ritter's got work. I think it's great. I have no idea what he's going to be playing. Maybe he'll be a Guardian of Oa.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. He's not going to be a Guardian of Oa.
No, you don't think so?
Yeah, I'm excited for Lanterns. I'm probably, that's the thing I'm most excited about. Obviously, Superman is the thing I'm most excited about. But with everything else that's been announced, just that image of the two of them walking down that street, it really got me. Like, I'm stoked for this show.
I mean, Jason's going to have a big part. So he might be the person they're going after. I don't know, but I like him being a part of the show.
Well, what we don't know, and I mean, and you think about any season of True Detective, is that when we hear somebody's going to be cast in Lanterns, we're it's Sinestro, it's Guy Gardner, it's Maxwell Lord. We just use what we know, but this is a grounded Lantern show. And so whatever mystery they're dealing with, they're going to be somewhere that's grounded.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a bunch of characters that are just characters we've never heard of before.
That's a good point.
And that doesn't mean they're going to be small characters. Like, there's probably going to be really important characters, but not everyone is going to be a superhero / an alien / a space cop. Like, there's just going to be a lot of people who are regular people. And so he might be one of those.
Because it's Earthbound. Yeah, he might be the sheriff. He might be the husband of the sheriff that I think is a female sheriff in the show. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Jor-El Brown says, "Are you watching Severance, Michael? If so, thoughts on the season so far?" They know John, I don't watch it. So go ahead.
How have you not watched it?
I know.
Here's what I hear. This is what sometimes you get a pleasant surprise. I had heard rumors from people before Severance season 2 came out that they were having a really hard time breaking it, and that it was that they had set up a bunch of stuff in season 1 and they didn't know what they were going to do and it wasn't going to work. And I was really sort of worried, I guess, about it. And man, I did not have to worry. This season has been wild. I have so many theories that I can't go into here because I don't want to spoil people, but I think this season in every way, shape, and form has taken season 1 and just gone and run with the ball. Like, particularly, I think season 1 sort of really set up, I don't think this is a spoiler. Season 1 set up, the idea of the outies and the innies, that you have a job, and if you're severed, you live your life, and then you go to this office and you're a different person. And so a lot of it was just dealing with that concept. And I think season 2 has really had episodes that have pushed beyond that, pushed outside of the office, pushed beyond. Ooh. I know a lot of people didn't like this last week's episode that really focused on Patricia Arquette's character. I thought it was fucking great. And I thought they had some bombshell reveals in it. Like, I know that episode 9 is out there on my TV right now. I haven't watched it yet. And I don't know if I'm going to have time by the time we get done to do this before dinner. But if it's not tonight, it's like literally get home from the gym, watch Severance tomorrow. I'm very excited. But yeah, this season has been bomb.
How many episodes is it usually? 10? Is it
10?
10? Okay. Maybe
by the way, if you just sat down and put on season 1 in the morning, you just wouldn't leave. You would just burn through the whole thing.
You're probably right. Maybe that is this weekend's plans. Rachel Leah, what's up, Rachel? Good to see you. Says, I like Claudia Domit from The Boys for Wonder Woman.
I like that.
It's not a bad idea.
I could definitely get on board with that.
Jack Quaid can get on board with that for sure. Speaking of which, Novocaine out in theaters now. Go see it, people. I had a good time with that one. Matt said, did Doctor Strange's spell affect the whole universe or just Earth? Because we know Quill, Danvers, and Fury were not on Earth at the time that Doctor Strange put his spell on. So interesting, Michael.
People have brought this up. Here's my answer to that.
Is your workaround? Yeah.
Is not a workaround. I just think the simplest answer is to say that spell worked everywhere. Okay. Like if we start getting into, because then you get into like Peter Quill met Peter Parker, but does he really know who Peter Parker? He'd be like, yes, Peter. Now look, that being said, I can see a world where now I'm going to convince myself out of what I was saying. Yes. If Peter Parker was walking down the streets of New York and Peter Quill was in New York for reasons and saw him and pointed and said, hey, Spider-Man, and Peter Quill was like, and Peter Parker was like, how do you know me? Yeah. And then the answer was, well, I wasn't on Earth at the time. I guess that didn't affect me. Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. If they wanted to use that as a workaround, they could, but I do think the simpler thing is just to be like, nobody knows who Peter Parker is. Like we sort of rebooted Spider-Man back to where he was. Let's not reboot him partially, except for when we don't want to. Yeah. Unless you have a really good story reason for doing it.
That's the one I'm coming to. It's like, I can see it going either way, but you've got to have a really good, strong story element to whichever path you choose so that people will accept it quicker and not be caught up in, well, that doesn't make any sense, because that's when you're going to lose people. So, yeah.
Just all those people from Alabama? What was that?
No, I'm just saying, people take that accent when they can't.
That doesn't make any sense.
I can't put that together. Owen Lanning says Patrick Schwarzenegger as Booster Gold would be perfect casting after watching him in White Lotus. You mean Nepo baby Patrick Schwarzenegger, who claimed that he went through hundreds of auditions before he was cast? Get out of here. Yeah, sure. That's fine with me. What do you think, Mike? Do you like him? Have you watched White Lotus? I don't watch that show.
What do you watch?
Well, Win or Lose today. I watched.
You did watch Win or Lose today. You did. Yeah. I appreciate you watching animation for me. He's great. I mean, he's a douche. My thing with, and this is probably just from watching White Lotus. I'm sure he's a lovely person. Actually, that's not true. I've heard mixed, but I've heard mixed. But he's such a douche on White Lotus that it's like, can he be a charming douche? Because Booster Gold's a douche, but he's a charming douche. Patrick Schwarzenegger on White Lotus is just a douche. So yes, he does he looks the role. Yeah. There's a world where I could see that. I mean, I could definitely see that casting. I would just have to get over his White Lotusness.
Yeah, it's like people trying to pitch Eastwood as Wolverine. I could see the look. I don't know that I could buy him playing Wolverine. You know what Jeff pitched last night? Cosmo Jarvis from Shogun. Could you see him as Wolverine?
Yes, maybe. I'm trying to think. Yes,
yeah, I think so. All right. Fred says, has Rocha seen BITBC? What is that?
Has Rocha seen Barry in the Big City?
Oh, yes. I've watched a couple of episodes. I haven't watched seasons of the show, but certainly I watched a couple episodes.
You can literally watch a season of Barry in the Big City in like 20 minutes.
I know. Okay, fine. I'll do that as well. Add that to the list. Oh my God. All right, let's get to the Streamlabs here as we go through. We got a few of these, Michael. I hope you can stick around. Hot Security Guard says, what do you guys think that if in Doomsday and they want to work with Tom Holland or RDJ, if the spell that made everyone forget Peter only affected the main universe and Doom had a Spider-Man in his universe that looked like Tom Holland and knows he's Peter, so when Peter eventually sees Doom without his mask and says, Mr. Stark, what if Doom knows he's Peter? So the only person in the whole world who knows is Peter Parker is Doom, who looks like Tony. I feel like that will really mess with Holland's Peter Parker. Wow, that's a long-winded question, man.
That's a long way to get around to.
Yeah.
I think if Tom Holland sees a bad guy who looks like Tony Stark, he's fucked up either way, whether that guy knows him or not. I think they can play the fact that this guy shows up.
Yeah.
What I think is going to be interesting, and we talked about this on the show a few weeks ago, which nobody had really talked about, is that, we're just assuming, okay, Robert Downey Jr. shows up, he's a bad guy, they fight him. But I think that if Robert Downey Jr. shows up as a Tony Stark variant who either is Dr. Doom or becomes Dr. Doom or whatever happens and says, hey, universes are collapsing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect you. we have to do this thing, but this thing is going to kill another universe.
Yeah.
Who sides with him and who doesn't? I think having half of our characters in our world be like, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
And half of our characters say no. And because of No Way Home, we know that Tom Holland will do anything to help anyone. Like he made every sacrifice to help Doc Ock and Electro and Sandman and all of them, and even Norman Osborn. So Tom Holland is not going to say, let's go ahead and let an entire multiverse die, a part of the universe in the multiverse die. But if his former mentor is like, this is the only way, that's interesting to me. So I do hope they do some version of that.
Yeah, may mess with him. Doug Developer says, Doug Developer, what's up, Doug? He says, hi, John. I was very moved by your review of Daredevil episode 3. I didn't see how frustrating that ending could have been to you as a Latino, and I felt that passion in your voice. This is why it's important to have critics of color in this space. Oh, thanks, Doug. Certainly, we talked about it, Michael and Shannon and I, on our recent Geek Buddies review of it 2 days ago. Yeah, I mean, and look, the guys have their opinions on it. I have my opinions on it, but I think there is a middle ground in how we looked at it and more perspective of it all. And, and it is what it is. I just would have liked to. By the way, I didn't know that actor had died. So maybe that might have affected some of other scenes they might have written. So I don't know how that all went down. But either way, my overall point was I didn't mind that thing happened. I would have liked to have had more with him so it had more resonance to it. So. But yeah, that was my two.
Yeah, and look, and I even when I don't agree with John, I agree with your sentiment that the more diversity we have when it comes to critics, the more different opinions we hear that we might not think of. Like I didn't even think about that because I knew in the comic book run,
that's
he died. Right. So when he died, I didn't think about it one way or the other, and I thought that John's point was very interesting because it hadn't occurred to me.
There you go. Thank you. Puerto Rican, what's up, Puerto Rican? Come on, guys. Nicolas Cage should play Jor-El. Nicolas Cage. I mean,
he had his moment at the end of Flash.
That's true. He did. Thank you, Puerto Rican. Always good to see you, brother. Fred says, hey guys, Bucky showing up in the Thunderbolts trailer leads me to believe he lost the election, probably because he was seen palling around with Sam Wilson. But Sam, saved America, right? That wouldn't necessarily make him lose the election, right? Or would it? Does that make sense, Mike?
It does. Yes, I don't think that is the case, but I am curious because we clearly do see that he either is a congressman or is running for Congress or whatever. We also see him on his bike chasing people and shooting them. So
that's true.
He's a congressman, but he's also Bucky Barnesing up. We see him in full action mode, which is not I don't see Chuck Schumer going out with a gun and taking names.
Hell no. I could see AOC on a motorcycle though.
AOC and Ayanna Presley, yeah, they can go take some people down for sure.
Especially Jasmine Crockett too. Corn Emperor says the Rocha and Vogel show, itchy and scratchy theme. Oh, totally. And yeah, I'm probably the cat, right? In Michael's mind, of course.
It's my mind. I think we all agree that you're the cat.
Not the cat. Fred Taz says Jor-El needs to be a larger statue. Mads Mikkelsen or Adam Driver would be my choices. Oh, stature is what he meant. Mads or Adam Driver? I don't think Adam, but maybe Mads. But Adam's the bigger name if you were going to choose between the two.
I don't hate Adam Driver, but that's because I'm going counter to your wood mahogany chop wood Jor-El. So
Adam's a former Marine. He can radiate that kind of
manly. But he doesn't. He's not like
But he could yell at the scientists of Krypton, right? With that Adam Driver yell of his. I could see that happen. Corn Emperor also says, laugh my ass off, Vogel. I heard you say space top. I could see it. What does that mean, space top? I don't know.
Wait, when did I say that?
I don't know. Apparently you said it recently.
Sounds like something I would say.
There you go. Julia says, I miss the Coen brothers making movies together. While their solo outings aren't bad, they don't have the same kind of magic. Love the show. R.I.P. Shannon. Shannon is not dead. Stop it.
Oh, Shannon. We barely knew ye.
He's out dealing with some raptors. Let him have some peace. I mean, Macbeth was good. And we'll see. Them together is the way to go, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'm Two Fly Cam says, hey buddies, why do you think Daredevil is performing so bad on Disney Plus? Also, what's your opinion on Teslas? Vandalize them or not? LOL, mostly kidding. Okay, so but yeah, a lot of people think that it's I saw people tweeting out that it's underperforming because it came out after Captain America, and if it come out after Deadpool and Wolverine, it'd be doing much better. Why do you think it's underperforming a little bit, Michael?
I think two things are happening simultaneously.
Okay.
And I think that one of them is, in general, hardcore, most of us who are here right now at this happy hour, like, we're going to watch Marvel shit. Mm-hmm. But I think that the regular movie-going public is a little marveled out. Probably. And that doesn't mean they're marveled out because of too much Marvel. They're marveled out because of not great Marvel. And I think Captain America is not great Marvel. Even if you like it, I don't think you love it. Right. So I think they're just a little tired of it. But I think also, and we'll see, maybe this is going to be the right call in the long run. Like, Brad Wonderbaum came out, they talked about it. Like, they're definitely trying to separate the Marvel shows from the MCU. Not that they don't all take place in the same place and that they're all somewhat connected, but they want the Marvel shows to sort of exist as their own things. And I think right now Daredevil is sitting in that place of people don't know, well, do I have to have watched the 3 seasons of the Netflix show to understand what's going on? Or is this part of the Marvel universe? Like, I didn't see Captain America. Is Daredevil going to make sense? Like, people are so trained that the Marvel universe is this thing that you have to know. Right. And a lot of people didn't necessarily watch the Netflix show. So I think a lot of people are just even confused about what it is. So it's going to be interesting. And I don't think it came out with such a bang. I think most of us came out and were like, oh, this is good.
Yes.
But we didn't go, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. So I think that it doesn't quite have that appointment television feel right now. Yeah. So we'll see.
That's what I would say. I think it'd be doing better if everyone was raving about it. But the fact that some of the reviews have been mixed, some of the reviews haven't been as strong, some reviews have been good, don't get me wrong. But I think overall, it's not being seen as this must-watch type of show. And so I think that's affecting the viewership more than anything else. Where they placed it or not placed it, I think you can make a case for some of that. But I think it's the overall fact that the people aren't 100% going crazy about the show. That's what's affecting viewership. And people don't, as you said, people are marveled out. So if they see mixed reviews, they're not going to take a chance on it because they're like, I don't want to go through that again.
People are marveled out. People are Star Wars'd out. Like people are just like all of the things, most of the things that we talk about. Yeah. DC is sort of wide open right now. Like nobody quite knows what to do. And we'll see what happens if people are going to be like, no, don't want it. But
right.
We need those big things, those big events that really get people excited. And I think the TV shows do better when the movies are out there doing great. Like if people in general are like, oh, Star Wars is cool again. Marvel is awesome. That movie killed. Like if the Russo brothers land Doomsday and Secret Wars, which let's hope they do, because I'm going to watch Electric State at some point this weekend, but I'm not necessarily excited to do so. Yeah. But let's just say they land those. I think those movies are going to be big enough hits that it's like then people sort of are in it, we all do it where you're in the mood. Like you go see Deadpool and Wolverine and you come home and you just sort of go to the Marvel section of Disney Plus and you just pick something to put on because you're just in the mood for Marvel. We need to get the general movie going public back in the mood.
Yeah, that's a good point. Doug Developer says, would absolutely love Margaret Qualley for Rogue. Yeah, that's certainly been kicked around. I could see that. That'd be a good selection. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. King Sport Cal wrapping us up saying, I want one drinking story from John or Vogel's college days.
I mean, I just told you one to kick the show off about me over serving myself on screwdrivers. Let me think.
College days? I didn't do a lot of drinking in the college days.
You did. You spent an entire semester abroad drinking most nights.
Oh, yes, I did. Quite a few pints of cider were imbibed by me during those.
John and I were roommates in London together for a semester of college, and he was old enough to drink anyways. I was 20 at the time, and the drinking age, obviously, in the States is 21, but in the UK is 20. So I got to the UK, and all of a sudden, I could walk into any pub anywhere and just get drunk. And we did a couple things that semester. I discovered Long Island iced teas for the first time, which when you're 20 years old is the quickest way to get completely fucked up. But the other thing that's great about the UK, this is my old man showing, is that most pubs close at 11. Like the clubs, a lot of clubs will stay up later, but pubs and like regular bars close at 11. So as opposed to like America, where you kind of on a Friday or Saturday night, you and your friends go out and you meet up at like 9 or 10 at the bar and you go from there. You like met up at like 6 or 7 and you drank till 11 and then you came home and passed out. But John and I, the flat that we shared was at the very top of the study center, and it was like 5 flights up these really, really steep stairs. And there was a couple times that by the 4th and 5th flight, it was less walking and more of a slow crawl to the flat.
Yeah, and there were break areas. Like on the 3rd floor, there was a wider area where you could just lay on the windowsill for a little bit.
I fell asleep on that windowsill a couple times.
Yes, and then come up the stairs.
Another time on another show, I'll tell you about the time that John met a gay guy at Rent and then invited him to stay in our flat because he thought that I would like him.
You know, I was trying to make an effort, and I had no idea that you could have unstable gay guys like you could have unstable in any situation, any dating situation. And it was quite an interesting experience for poor Michael, and for sure that was on me.
That was a fun night. Good times in the UK.
I think I had one drinking. I went drinking with a girl that had been hitting on me for quite some time, which Michael knows who I'm referencing, and she took me on a pub crawl till 2 a.m. If you've ever seen the music video for Ed Sheeran's Galway Girl, that's essentially what I experienced that night, but not with Saoirse Ronan, with someone else who took me to all these like underground bars till 3 a.m. I had Toblerone. I heard music. I got to eat fries or chips, as they call it there in the UK. So that was a great night of drinking. And I only have flashes of a memory of what that night was, but yeah, there were some great times drinking in the UK for sure.
Also, if you picture what you think John Rocha is like when he comes home late at night, like blackout drunk, like stumbling around like a bull in a china, like whatever you're picturing in your head right now of John coming in at like 2 a.m. drunk while you're trying to sleep, whatever you're picturing, like multiply it by 5 and that's what happened.
Plus it, absolutely. Because I always think I'm being quiet, and then listen, that still happens now. Lindley complains all the time when I go to bed at 1 a.m. and she's like, why do you always have to wake me up? And I'm like, I'm not trying to. I'm just a bull in the china shop. All right. Anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us for this happy hour. You know, we do these occasionally here on the Geek Buddies, just hanging out, having some drinks and talking about life and entertainment. So we appreciate you all. Thanks for the Streamlabs and the Super Chat. Thanks for the lively chat. Almost 400 of you joining us for a majority of the show. We appreciate it madly. Do you know what we have to tell them as we wrap up, Michael? Anything to say?
Yes, if you would like to follow us, I like the Shannon part is where it gets me. If you would like to follow us, you can do so on Twitter at geek_buddies, on Instagram at _geek_buddies. You can follow Mr. Rocha at The Rocha Says. You can follow me at MKToon. And after you do all that following, we would appreciate it if you go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe to Johnny's Outlaw Nation page. Check out all the amazing content he has got right over here. If you are listening to this video later, leave your chats in the comments below. What did you think of everything we talked about? What do you think of Drunk John Rocha? Let us know in the comments. If you're listening to us on a podcast, go ahead and leave us some stars and some comments so we go up in the rankings and more people can find us. And as always, the best thing you can do is retweet this video, post it on your socials, send it to your friends, and tell them to hang out with your buddies, the Geek Buddies.
There you go. Thank you all so much again. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. If you missed our episode from 2 days ago, that is up for you all to listen to or watch. And we had a lot of stuff we talked about on that one as well. Shout out to our brother, Shannon McClung. And we'll talk to you next time.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. We'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the
Geek
Buddies.